Yes. We are going live now. We are going live on YouTube. All right. We are going live. All right. I think we are good to go. So today's training, today's enlightenment session is about a very important and sensitive topic that I, as a person, have been waiting so much to hear our mother in safety, Mrs. Hey, let me bite my teeth. Just let me say Ajiri Ogene Angela. Yes, I think that is fine, so that I won't go and say something else in the name of calling a name and bite my tongue. So she will be taking us through the process of this training. And Mrs. Ajiri Ogene Angela is an experienced head of security and safety management with a demonstrated history of working in the government administration industry, skilled in emergency management, workplace safety, occupational health, safety management systems, and governance and corporate governance. Strong operations professional with a bachelor's degree focused in applied biochemistry from Nnamdi Azikiwe University. And today, she will be talking about the first time that I hear her speak was in the ASSP event that happened some months ago, and I really enjoyed her speech, and I wish that we could have her again, and that is one of the reasons why we have her today. And based on her humility, she accepted the invite and gave us this very good topic. And very soon now, we'll give the mic, hand over the mic to her for us to learn from our mother in safety. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you can see the screen, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we can.
Okay, before I start, I want to appreciate my West African share of IOSH, Mr. Tokbe. I want to appreciate the Secretary of ASSP Nigerian chapter, and my big brother, Dr. Molade, CEO Hybrid. Thank you all for participating in this webinar. When Wali really approached me and on this webinar, I told him that I'm not going to go technical. I want us to really go to the basis, because we have a lot of professionals in Nigeria. We have a lot of professionals. I am a CSP. I am a CMIOSH. I am a fellow of Ispon. So I have seen it all in different climes. And I asked myself, why is it that we have a couple of CSPs now in Nigeria? CSP is Certified Safety Professional from America, which is the highest safety professional body qualification in US. We have CMIOSH, we have CFIOSH. Then why is it that we are still not where we should be? And one of the reasons that have been identified is this silo mentality. I want to start with a quote. By Harry Truman. He said, "It is amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit." So what is the purpose of this presentation? Is to review the condition of occupational safety and health practice in Nigeria, explain what silo mentality is, explain some features of silo mentality, state the effect of silo mentality on the development of OSH in Nigeria, and suggest the way forward in breaking down silo mentality and the associated benefits. By way of introduction, I'm Angela Okponwa. That name is not really so difficult. Security, Safety, and Fleet Senior Manager, Federal Inland Revenue Service. I have over 15 years of practice in both HSC and security. So what is the condition of OSH practice in Nigeria? The first machine, the first search machine, when I was presenting a paper on taking occupational safety and health beyond oil and gas in Nigeria, one of those presentations I had, I just typed condition of OSH practice in Nigeria. The first thing that came out was poor. And I said, wow, poor. That means we are doing below average. So the condition of OSH practice in Nigeria is still below expectation. Considering that as a country, we have ratified some significant numbers of ILO conventions. One would have expected us to have fared better in this area, but we are not. Although we have few multinational organizations, especially in the oil and gas and aviation industry, that are really doing well. And most of them are not domestic or non-Nigerian companies. Some of them are using the standard of their mother countries. Some of them, they are using this deregulation, Mineral, Oil and Gas Act, all those little acts, some few regulators that come to them, they are working with them. Because what we have as a standard that is really guiding us, the Factory Act, if you look at it, you know that we all have agreed at one time or the other that is long overdue for review. So why is it that what we are seeing in aviation industry, why is it that what we are seeing in some multinational oil and gas company is not replicated in some other sectors? So let's just have an overview of what it is like, the condition of OSH in Nigeria as we speak. The first thing I said when I was talking about the condition, I talked about the Factory Act. We have a weak legal structure. We have a Factory Act that doesn't even cover one of our major industry, the construction industry. They are right now fully unregulated. Some of them, because of duty of care, they tend to want to obey some international standards, but they are not regulated. Then what of those that are captured by the Factory Act? We don't have enough manpower. We don't have even enough inspectors to go around the country to even implement. Most time what we see is reactive implementation. When something happens and it comes on air, the next thing we appreciate it. You can mute. Thank you. So we have more of reactive because they are not even there. Then you now look at the penalties. I don't know how many of us have read through the Factory Act. The penalties are just so minimal that people would rather pay the penalty than do the right thing. Then another thing we have noticed. Hello?
Hello. Yeah, you are told to put it on full screen, your slides. Maybe you forgot.
Oh, wow. That was what I was. Okay.
F5. F5.
Yeah. Wow, I'm having issues here.
Just F5.
Yeah, I'm having issues with my lights.
Okay.
Sorry. So can you share from your end?
Yeah, but it's not my system.
Stop sharing.
Okay. Let me try to download it to my.
I'm already having network issues. Can you share?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the material now on my system. Yeah. Okay.
So can you share now?
Yeah, I'm almost there. All right, I'm almost there.
Are you there?
Yeah, almost there. Just a couple of minutes more. I want to admit these people. Yes, now I want to share my screen now. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can. Can I?
Okay, so can you see it now?
I'm on the overview. Yeah, I'm on the overview.
Yes, I'm there now. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I'm there. We are together. So, like I said, we now have lack of synergy among relevant OSA stakeholders. This is where the presentation today is going to address. We have a lot of silos. We have so many bodies. Even the one that now has an art, we still have fragments. Even the individuals, sometimes I wonder how the Ministry of Labor that currently house the occupational health and safety that house the management of occupational health and safety in the country is even coping, because every blessed month or years, a group is going to meet them to introduce themselves as the most legitimate persons to handle OSH practice in Nigeria, when we are supposed to be working together as a team. Then another thing you see is lack of adequate information and statistics. Most times when you have to do research, you have to rely on international statistics. We don't have information. You don't have any place you can go to. Even if you check on net, you can't have relevant statistics. Or somebody would tell me, NSITF, you have reports there. We have had situations where you ask them for reports. And the truth is that you don't have adequate, because what you are reporting to them is not exactly what is happening. How many organizations, we are representing different organizations here. We have about 42 participants. How many of our organizations actually report everything that happens within our workplace to NSITF? So that is another challenge. We lack statistics. Then we have poor enforcement of existing OSH laws. Even when the legal structure is weak, what of enforcement? Enforcement is very, very weak too. Then we have a lot of organizations that lack corporate responsibility and accountability. Feel they don't owe their staff any duty of care. You see people that even the provide basic as first aid box is. You have organizations that don't even have that. As basic as having a policy, an OSH policy, we don't even have that. You have a lot of management that are not committed. Then some of them that are committed because of the virtue of the partners they work with, like those of them that work in oil and gas, it becomes compulsory for them to cooperate to a reasonable extent. What do? They cooperate on paper and they don't cooperate in real life. So when you go to their policies, their procedures, they are up to date. But when you go to the organization, you see the safety personnel struggling because they lack corporate responsibility and accountability. Then you have inadequate funding of OSH programs and research. Programs that concern OSH most of the time are not funded. Research on OSH most times, although research generally in the country, you rarely have few organizations that fund them. So that is the situation we are right now as a country. And you can see that the situation is not wonderful, is not palatable. How do we move from here? The next slide, please. One of the ways we can move from here is to address the issue of silo mentality. What are silos? Just look at those pictures there. Silos are used to store grains. You can see those silos, one characteristic of these silos is that grains from one silo don't move to another. So everything in that silo remain in the silo. So take a clue from this and understand what silo mentality is. It is a mentality where things or function that are supposed to be working for a common goal are unwilling to share information or collaborate with one another. Persons with such mindset would rather act in an isolated, independent manner. And this has been identified as one of the factors affecting OSH growth in Nigeria. A lot of the stakeholders are working in silos and are not willing to collaborate. Let's even start from us older professionals to younger professionals. You see a younger professional coming to ask an older person, please, I don't know what to do. I need this particular template. And the next thing he is telling you is, please, I don't think I have it. So even when we have it, you are afraid that this person will outshine you. If really the focus of every safety professional, if we are really not satisfied with the current situation of OSH, what should we do? Is it not to build more professionals? Is it not to encourage more professionals? So even you as a senior professional, how are you handling those that are under you? When they come to you for mentorship, how are you handling them? They will not talk about stakeholders. When I mean stakeholders, we're talking about different professional bodies, professional regulators, and the government and other relevant stakeholders that I might not have mentioned here. So that is where we are right now. The next slide, please. Look at this elephant. Many of us have read about that, the blind man and the elephant story. Just take a look. One man touched the ear and he said it is a fan. The other one touched the body and he said it is a wall. One touched the tail and said it is a rope. And the another one touched the leg, he said it is a tree. One touched the husk and said it is a snake. So, and the other one touched the truck and said it's a spear. So, can you just imagine? If they had all come together and say, I touched one part, it looks like a rope. So where are you? I am at the end. So I am at the middle. I touched a part and it's looking like a tree. What do you think they would have been able on their own to be able to fathom that it is an animal? But all of them kept arguing on what they saw because they could not come together to see the big picture. So imagine what will happen if all of us come together and see the big picture, the big vision of where OSA should be in Nigeria, and we all start working towards it. How great OSA should be in Nigeria. The next slide. What are some of the features of silo mentality? How do you know an organization or a group of people are having silo mentality when there is resistance to share information? I don't know whether you have been in some group. You will be in a group and somebody will request. We have a lot of HSE groups, WhatsApp, Telegram, everywhere. And somebody will request for an information. Sometimes I wish I had some of the information, because the truth is that, working in the government sector, especially in a non-oil, in a non-industrial government sector like ours, most of our templates are organic. So it's not something that you come by. And if I have to get some information to people, some persons that we need it urgently, it will take me a longer time. And you have people that are experts, and all this person is wanting is just a particular information. And you see everybody ignoring it as if it is not there. Resistance to share information. So it could just be an information like, please, I want to register for Nebosh IGC. Where can I? Because somebody in your circle is not providing that service, the next thing is, why not do this particular one? Because that is where your interest is. And this person is telling you that this is what I want. And you know the way, and you have been there, and you know how to help the person. Why not help? Unhealthy rivalry. That is one thing that is killing us today. Oh, I am an IOSH member. And do you know the beautiful thing? I'm seeing that IOSH and ASSP, they are doing a lot to bridge that gap. And I am praying and hoping that with time, what they are doing will spread to other safety bodies within and outside the country that are working in Nigeria. Unhealthy rivalry. You see us fight against each other. You will see this HSC group telling these other people that these people are not right. This person is not a professional. This person doesn't have, is not a Simayosh. Who is he to talk? Who, this person is not a this. This person is not in this fashion of Ispon. This person is not in this fashion of Ispon. We are better because we are in this fashion. Unhealthy rivalry. Lack of collaboration and weak alignment. I don't know, I can't overflow this. Talk where you are amazing. There is hardly any ASSP program. It started with Mr. Dakpo. That is the much I know. Even Kayode, they have always been attending. If ASSP invite them, they will send a representative. IOSH is doing a program, although IOSH for a long time now have been doing a lot of program online. But I hope and pray that when IOSH program comes up, the one that they are preparing for in Ghana, ASSP too will send representative. But I'm seeing a little collaboration between these two agencies. But I am praying that beyond these two, we all should buy into this collaboration, because right now we have lack of collaboration and weak alignment. So many court cases. If the interest is already on this profession, why are we fighting ourselves? Resistance to change. I remember when some of these professional bodies, the international ones, were making waves in Nigeria, when they were trying to come into the Nigerian market, a lot of persons saw it as a challenge. Instead of them to see it as an opportunity to improve themselves. You will see somebody telling you your HSC level 3 is equal to this, is more than this, is more than this. What is wrong in getting people to be exposed to all the professionals' bodies that they can be exposed to? Because the truth is that I can start my practice in Nigeria today. And the next minute I'm practicing in the UK. And all the next minute I'm practicing in Canada, especially now that we are having a lot of jackpine. Let me borrow that word. People are moving out. So expose people to whatever they can be exposed to, so that they can be able to compete with their peers internationally. The leadership failure. When leadership of any professional body start fighting themselves, instead of fighting the challenges they have, you know that these people are operating on silo mentality. Lack of clarity around priorities. Some of the times when I see these fights and I ask myself, where are we really getting to? Because the truth is that if we still have the vision that the health of our people, the safety of our people is paramount to us, why the fight? People fight when they lack clarity, and that is a feature of silo mentality. Then you start seeing insecurity. People thinking that their position is threatened when they lose their identity. They feel when they collaborate, they will lose their identity. Who told you that? When we work together as a team, we are stronger, and people will take us more seriously. The next slide, please. So what is the effect of silo mentality on OSA practice in Nigeria as we speak? Duplication of effort. A lot of us are duplicating efforts. Duplicating effort. Today you are doing this. Tomorrow you are doing this. Everybody going to Minister of Labor. Everybody going to this. And you will not ask yourself, where are we? Where are we really going to? If I'm going here and we all join ourselves, just imagine we are all going to a particular place. I am going to Lagos, and you are going to Lagos. Instead of us to use one car, we are using 3 cars. because we cannot come together. We have wasted time, we have wasted resources, we will fuel the three cars. That is what is happening to us in OSH practice because of the silo mentality. We are wasting resources, we are duplicating effort, and the funniest thing is that stakeholders and government, they are no longer taking us seriously. So what are we doing? We are creating fewer opportunities for professional growth. We are killing the profession for our younger ones. It is not because of us. Some of us, we are already there by the grace of God. What happened to the younger ones? When you are killing the profession, the younger ones cannot grow. Another effect is conflict. Every day you hear one court case or the other because of silo mentality. Is it really necessary? I know of some organizations that have stopped paying a conference due for some of their staff because of the current crisis. We can't shy away from it. And it's affecting. Now, a lot of our professionals, they have to pay through their nose because today they will send one account, tomorrow they are sending one account, next tomorrow they are sending one account. And the management is saying, no, we can't continue like this. Tell us which one is the authentic body. So we are having issues here and there. Nobody is taking us seriously. And you know what it has done to us. Look at what happened to us. The gateway that to CSP has already been cut off. Few years ago, a Nigerian professional that and passed. That was the gateway I used to become a CSP. And we have the materials here that can sit for that exam and finish it within hours. I wrote it in Nigeria. We can compete with our daily because of this conflict. Then it is leading to poor implementation of OSH program because we take one step up, take two steps down. Take one step up, take two step down. And it has led to poor OSH management, leading to more incidents. The time that we would have used to progress, we're using it to fight. People are dying. Companies are killing workers. People are being careless because when we are supposed to be implementing, what are we doing? We are still at the drawing table. We have not even started at the drawing table because we are still fighting to get to the drawing table. The next slide, please. So, what is the way forward? What is the way forward? Leadership has to be committed to a unified vision. We have to say, yes, this fighting is over. And like someone said in the chat, the ball is in our court, the younger generation. If the leaders have failed us, we can't afford to fail ourselves. Yes, I'm in between. I'm up, I'm down, right? So I'm in between. And we are saying that it is time. Let's all rise up. Help that safety professional because the goal is that OSA should take its rightful place. Then all relevant stakeholders, let's put aside all that has happened. We have to collaborate and work towards that unified vision that we have committed ourselves to. Then we should commit to mentorship. Please, please, and please. If you have the knowledge, share. Mentorship and coaching of younger professionals. Yes, I know that a lot of you are consultants. There is room for making money. I tell you something, when you mentor people, yes, there is time for you to make money. There is time for you to give out. When Waliyu invited me, I said, Waliyu, I'm going to be on transit, but I will try my best. I will just pick maybe a very small system and see what I can do. I'm so exhausted, but I'm committed. I've met my Waliyu only once, and he stood out for me. When he sent me the message, he didn't take time. I said, who is presenting before me? He said, Dapo. I said, if Dapo, because there are some professionals you know that they are ready to sacrifice their time. Look at what Jagabans is doing, Badmos, creating professionals. 6 months of intensive training. Kudos to him. Dapo is doing the same. You have a lot of professionals doing the same. And Wale is using his own platform too, free of charge. to teach people. I learned a lot from the dangerous goods of last week. And I was telling myself, I said, I'm going to consult my brother. This is an interesting area. It's so amazing. You know, you have other topics and you have other great people. The lineup for this month and next month is amazing. I must tell you for free. So commit to mentorship and coaching of younger professionals. I have a lot of people on my LinkedIn that I don't know. I might not meet them in life any day, but I have laid down my life to mentor. That is what I want. Sometimes it costs me my sleep. Sometimes it costs me so much. Like the Young Emerging Professionals program that he was talking about. I handled that many sessions. My flight was canceled and I kept hoping. I had to get one flight very late in the night. Not because of anything. I have passion for the younger ones because I know how difficult it was for some of us to get to where we are today. Let's collaborate. Then volunteering our skill to ensure OSH is promoted in Nigeria. Please, when there is opportunity, maybe there is a national opportunity, or you have the time, those of you that are close to power, in any way you act, in any way you can, those of us in the Ministry of Labor, you know that sometimes I ask myself, I was thinking of this the professionals here, it's something we should look into, just like we have the road marshals, the marshals that work with road safety, right? I think it's something that we can send to the Ministry of Labor. We have a lot of professionals, so we can have volunteers with them. Since there is no enough power and we have our time, we have the skill, so we can do a part-time with them. We can be marshal to them, so that if they have programs they want to implement, we can volunteer our service to them. It's one way to collaborate, because we can't leave this job to them alone. They can't do it alone. When you have a skill that you need to volunteer, please do it in any way you can to promote OSH in Nigeria. Then accountability and transparency. Behind a lot of this silo mentality is lack of accountability and transparency. Believe you me, people are fighting, losing vision, are fighting for what they should not fight for. Are they really these organizations? Are we really charity organizations? Because if we are, if there is no money, if we are not fighting about money, what are we really fighting about? So sometimes you have leaders of professional bodies not being transparent and accountable. And that will make a lot of them, they want to do things in silos because they don't want others to know what they are doing. And that leads us to the next one, effective communication built around mutual trust. It's time for us to talk to ourselves. And the one way to talk to ourselves is for us to trust each other. And we must make ourselves trustable. Leaders of professional bodies, it is time for us to make ourselves trustable. I'm glad that a lot of us are here. Let people know that we are just servant leaders. Communicate the vision over and over and over and over and over again, wherever you have the opportunity. Because the truth is that the generation that we are in, we have a lot of people that have technical skill, but the truth is that they are losing their job daily because the soft skill, the honesty, the integrity, the skill that can keep them on the job are not there. You can teach somebody anything. And with the world of intelligence in everything, intelligent transportation, intelligent this and that, robots and all that, a lot of our things will be taken, a lot of our activities might be taken over by computers and software. But there are some things that we cannot learn. And what are those things? Values, honesty, integrity. And that is what a lot of us now lack. Helping each other, humility, unity, those values, respect for one another, communication, those values are what will keep us going. Effective communication built around mutual trust. Next slide, please. If we do that, there are going to be positive results. That takes us to the positive result of breaking that silo mentality. If we will have increased trust by the government and relevant stakeholders, people will start taking us seriously. And there will be effective OSH management in the country. Then there will be accelerated professional growth of safety professional because there will be openings. Because right now, a lot of companies are closing down openings because we are pulling down each other. Or you go and tell them that for you to be a safety professional, the person must have a level 3. And you know the funniest thing? The person will bring level 3, they will ask the person, which of the fashions of Ispon or this one did you belong to? If the person have IOSH manages safety, and you know the curriculum, if somebody bring a credential, look at the body offering it, and look at the curriculum, don't just throw it away because the person does not belong to your camp. No, look at the value of what he's having, not because of your interest, be objective. And when we do that, we have less burnout. The energy we are using to fight ourselves, we will save it. There will be expanded creativity because I'm bringing my idea, you are bringing your idea. We'll now look for a better way to improve OSH. Then there will be increased potential for innovation. The time we are using to fight ourselves, we are saving it to build on what we already have. So what will we have? Increased innovation because we're not thinking. We're no longer thinking of how to put down each other. We're thinking of how to be better. And there will be fewer mistakes and efficient management of resources. And the work environment will be less toxic. Next page. As we bring this presentation to an end, I want to conclude by saying, we all have a role to play. I have a role to play, you have a role to play in ensuring that safety and health is given the attention it needs in Nigeria. Because according to Reid Hoffman, no matter how brilliant your mind or strategy, if you are playing a solo game, you will always lose out to a team. Go back, talk to yourself. If you have a younger HSC professional with you, don't compete with this child. If he has, and you know the funniest thing, some of these young people, they have very brilliant ideas. Let them bring in their idea. Look for opportunity. You have various forms of mentorship. Sometimes you learn from people younger than you. Sometimes you learn from your peers. Sometimes you learn from people above you. So don't lose an opportunity to learn. Together, we will make it. We will make OSH great. It is not for us to fight. It is for us to look inward, look for a way to lift up one HSC professional from the ground level, from grass to grace, and you'll be happy you did. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, wow. This is great. This is interesting. This is marvelous. I don't know which adjective to qualify this. I really, 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 really value this. Together, we will make OSH great, Mrs. Angela 2022. That is a great message. And it has definitely given us that responsibility that no matter what divides us, what brings us together will always be stronger. And that is the baseline for this beautiful presentation. If you have questions, if you have comments, please kindly raise your hand. Let us call you on the platform for you to, for us to hear your views. Yes, Mr. Darlington. Yeah, while we await you, wonderful presentation, wonderful presentation. Thanks for the great presentation. Well done, Angela. Presentation, you touched some salient points. We pray and hope that they hear and put a stop to these bickerings. Great presentation, beautiful. So, Mr. Darlington, kindly unmute yourself and let us hear you, sir. Mr. Darlington, please kindly unmute yourself. We are waiting for you.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, sir.
Okay, it was a very good presentation. I must appreciate her. Okay, so what she said is very, very important. I must say that I'm really disappointed with a professional body called Ispon, okay, which is supposed to be a very strong umbrella for safety professionals in Nigeria. I won't take time. I'll just take a minute and share my very sad experience. My previous company, we wanted to get a certificate, a corporate certificate I personally went there to their head office at Ikotu around there. We made a payment of about 150,000 and all that, presented everything they needed. But before I left that company, they didn't produce that certificate. Very, very sad. So what do? We must do something. And I think I'm happy that Mr. Dapo is here. We must take the bull by the horn. Okay, enough of these politics, enough of these people. In construction, I'm telling you, because in construction, there's no regulation. People do anyhow. People get injured. No, nothing. Please, we must stand up as professionals and we must take the bull by the horn. I just want to encourage us, and we are ready to take it. So, Mr. Dapo, please lead us. We must take this thing out from these people's hands. Okay, just in Kenya, for instance, in Kenya, there's a department called Directorate of Occupational Health and Safety in Kenya. And my friend is actually the person in charge. Do you know that even if there's an incident, you must report it? If you don't report it, they penalize you. They operate like OSHA. But in Nigeria, no statistics, nothing. So please, I want us to take the bull by the horn. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Darlington. That was a good one. Thank you so much. I know, Mr. Dapomalade, we have a lot to say. We have with us Ms. Engineer Tokru Lawal. Thank you so much for coming. We have so many people on the call. We have another Andres Ewere Igio. Okay, Mr. Tokru Lawal, want to say something, sir?
No, I'm happy to have joined this. Angela has hit the nail on the head, and she said it all. All of us have a role to play. We know the big elephant in the house when it comes to the issue the proprietary body has is the division we have in Ispon, and the problems are not unsurmountable. So let's please do what you need to do and get this issue behind us. We should not go into New Year with these divisions. And I'm sure we had all it takes to mend this division amongst ourselves. Thank you very much, Kadol. And well done, Angela. I like your passion. I like your seriousness and the way you talk to us and you spoke from the bottom of your heart. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is the Emir of Safety. Yes, we have so many organs online. We have Mr. Timitokwe, the West African chairman for so they will all contribute to this section because it is more of let us know the way forward. What is the way forward? So we have the next person on the line, Ewere. I don't want to spell someone's name. So please, can you unmute yourself, please?
All right. There's another name there called Wilson now.
Okay,
all right.
Sorry, Mr. Wilson.
Okay, no problem. Good evening, everybody. I joined late and quite interesting. The moment I joined till this moment, I want to greet everybody in the house. The speaker, you did very great. Okay, just 30 minutes before I joined, I was talking to a colleague and I was just telling her about the OHS systems in Nigeria. We're just discussing how we are not really actually practicing safety. Apart from maybe you get maybe 80% in the oil and gas here in Nigeria. Other than that, man, it's just like we are just there. We are just there. Yes, apart from the fact that we've been doing a whole lot of advocacy like you are doing right now, Mr. Waliu, she mentioned the Jagabang of Safety and Mr. Dakpa and all of that, their contributions so far. But let's not forget also, I think another reason why it's still not there yet is also because of the so-called inspectorates that we have in Nigeria, the regulators. They actually, for me, I don't know how we are. I think my question should be, how do we get these people involved in this system totally? I work in the port, for example, and I will tell you when MPA comes to our terminal to do inspection, the Department of Health and Safety comes to the terminal with a what's it called now? With a palm slippers. And we are actually preaching that in the operation areas, you don't go there without maybe a cover shoe if you are not among the operation staff who are supposed to actually wear a cover, a safety boot. And you see these persons, and they'll start pointing fingers at truck drivers and say that these people are not, why are they not wearing their boots? Why are they not wearing their, and these inspectors do not even come into the terminals with safety boots. They are not even committed. They are not, and they are actually under the Department of Health and Safety. Now look, I want to also bring our attention to what happened April 5th regarding this guy, was Adekule or so, that had a machine accident at Ikorodu. Now, so I'm trying to do a follow-up on the story. I've not seen anything as per what has been done to the company, okay, and all of that. These companies get away with all these things. And at the end of the day, it's just more like we are just there. We are not doing anything as safety professionals. And I believe that there are professionals in that organization as well. And I feel they will not even be happy because these people that are supposed to help implement these things. I remember we had, sorry, I'm taking our time now, I'm rounding up. I remember we had MPA safety committee meeting, and I told them in the meeting that you guys are not helping us. You come to inspect and you notice one or two anomalies. What are you supposed to do? Because they come and they collect this PRO and that is it. And they make the job so difficult for the safety professionals. So my question should be, what are we supposed to do, or what can we do to ensure that these regulators are actually involved in this system? And when ILO brought last year's topic, working together to improve health and safety culture, I was really, really happy because they started from the regulators down to everybody. So they are not involved, and I'm like this person, just the first person that spoke, talking about Kenya and all of that, and that's why we are having this struggle in workplaces today. So my question now is, how do we get them involved fully, so that when companies see these people are actually committed, they want to be very, very careful as well. And I think that's why they are getting away with all these things. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That was very elaborate. Maybe we will give it a timeline. We will give it a maximum of 1 to 2 minutes to bring out your question. So, Mrs. Angela, you have the floor. And if you want to transfer the baton to any of the professors online, you can actually do that also. You have the floor.
I'm going to transfer. I'm going to talk. Then I will also ask Dakpo to join. One, that was why I said we have to volunteer our skills, right? We have to. I was talking about this idea. I know we have some time ago, them that they did something with them. But I think we now have to. It's something we need to look into. Can we volunteer to have a session? Maybe when we have our conferences, instead of them paying, we can ask the inspectorate, AFSP, IOSH. When we have our conference, can we just tell these regulators, give us 3 people, or we take the advocacy to them? And say, okay, we want to hold a workshop. All the professionals, let's come together. I want to hold a workshop for the inspectorate. I was happy, when we had that young emerging professional, we had one inspector, right, from the Ministry of Labor. Yes, we had one inspector. I think we can do that, because the truth is that some of these people, they don't know. They don't know. Like you said, one of the reasons I talked about was accountability and transparency. When regulators are not accountable and transparent, it makes the struggle it makes the professionals to struggle. So when PRO takes over the job that you are coming for, then when they are trained and they are told the importance of what they are doing and how to go about it, it will help. So let's see how we can work with them. We can come up with this idea of volunteers. I think NAFDAC now even have that. They do it at the COP youth service, people volunteering to work with them, professionals volunteering to work with them. We can do something at the youth service level, so we train professionals that will not be posted to them, or we do something with them ad hoc, so that whenever they are going out, they can work with us. But another thing, when they start working with maybe ASSP, bring people to work with them, this one will go and meet them, or I should go and meet them and tell them again that they are not the real people you are supposed to work with. So we have to break down this mentality so that we can move forward. Therefore, please, okay. Can you just add?
You want to say something?
Hello?
Ma?
I was saying that can Dakpo also add to this? Yes, somebody said the regulators require more knowledge. I agree with you. They require more knowledge.
Okay, well, so that Mr. Dapo will answer 2 or 3 questions once and for all. I want to call Mr. Ejiro to also bring out his point there. Mr. Dapo will answer Mr. Ejiro's question and also the last question. I know my guy is capable.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation, Mrs. Angela. It was a great one. You know, I don't even know the regulators in Nigeria when it comes to health and safety, because I feel health and safety in Nigeria is just a plaything when it comes to the construction industry. But for the oil and gas, a little bit of it is being taken serious. You know, I was opportune to work in Dangote refinery project, although the fertilizer aspect, before I left Nigeria for I left UAE, for UAE, sorry.
You lost.
Please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. So I was supervised by SIPEM, and a little bit of the project was covered under safety, health and safety. So we had some debt issues, but not under my project, not under my company, but other companies. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is Ispon is a problem. I would say that because they are like a body that supervised safety in Nigeria, but you would never see these people come to a construction site or even an oil and gas company to inspect as a body to know, okay, let's keep up with what these people are doing in this country as a whole, since Ispon is one of the certificates that is approved to be used to work in Nigeria. You see, most of the companies will tell you have to have Ispon, then NEBOSH before you can apply for their jobs. Here in the UAE, there's what we call blood money. If a serious injury occurs on your site as a safety officer, you are fined 200,000 dirhams, and that's approximately right now 200,000 dirhams is almost. If I'm not mistaken, the calculation should be around 25 million naira, if I'm not mistaken. That's a fine. Now, outside that fine, inspectors come to your locations to inspect. And if they come and they see that there are violations going on, they place a fine on the company. If it's a worker who is violating that particular issue, they place a fine on that worker as well. But in Nigeria, you don't see any of this persons. I was supposed to work in the refinery aspect of Dangote project, but I got a better offer, so I came here. Now, before I left, Dangote project kicked around November 2017. That was when the project kicked off, the refinery. And as at December, because I was working with a contractor, I was helping him with the HSE plan and every other thing for him to be able to kickstart his project with the refinery. So I was attending most of the meetings. Do you know that between November and December 17th, if I'm not mistaken, the date I had the meeting, they already had about 15 deaths recorded in that project. But nobody came out as a safety practitioner to say they are stopping this project for these reasons. It wasn't even heard outside that project. If I'm not saying it now, you wouldn't see a bulletin flying around that 15 workers lost their lives. Some workers were crushed under the trailer as they were sleeping in that same project, but nothing happened. So what Ms. Angela has really brought out today is an eye-opening. Mr. Dakbo is knowledgeable enough. He has gone around various countries. He knows exactly what safety is all about, the penalties that it has. We only just copy ILO and we don't do anything in Nigeria. So Mr. Dakbo has a lot of role to play since he's one of the top when it comes to safety in Nigeria. These bodies really need to do something because a lot of workers are going home amputated. A lot of them are losing their lives. There's no institute that's fighting for these workers. So it's more or less like, if you go to Dangote refinery right now as I speak and ask the safety officers, what do you go through? When they tell you the plight they are going through on a daily basis, you would shed tears because why? There is no body, no safety body, no organization that is standing behind these guys to say, when you have this kind of an issue, report it to me, so that there will be fear on this management. These expatriates are coming to the country to deliver a project and use these workers unsafely just because they want to achieve their project. They only take pictures wearing helmets and the rest to make it look like, oh, the project has safety of ground. But when you are there physically, it's a no deal. It's a different thing entirely. So I'll stop here for Mr. Dabo to take ahead. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ejiro Michael. That reminds me of so many issues, especially when you come down. I think this platform, there's no need to, in Yoruba we say shenuko. There's no need to code whatever you are saying. Let us say it the way it is. I remember if you come to this area, Songwater or Tsai, when you have so many factories, you have so many companies that are into operations processing, and when you go to some hospitals, every day they bring people, they bring different workers in. One amputation, another one went unconscious, for fingers. So many injuries, so many accidents happen, and it keeps occurring every day. And like Mrs. Angela said, it's most of these regulations, most of like the Factory Act, you will even want to come, you will even prefer to commit an offense, let me put it that way, than to actually do the right thing, because the penalties are very low. Maybe there would be need for an urgent review of the Factory Act. We are working on having one of those who work with the Ministry of Labor and Employment in the Department of Health and Safety to come and train us on what the Factory Act is train. And I think that will come up in October. We are working towards that. But before then, what is the way forward? So Mr. Dapo said, I think where he is, there's bad network there. Okay, let me see. I think we have so many comments here. Can't actually speak where I am. Apologies. Okay, we have Mr. Engineer Tukulawal. But before I call him into the space, let me read some comments. What's the way forward from Mr. Emmanuel? He said, what is the way forward to solve this Ispon faction problem? Because without breaking this faction issue, Ispon will remain where it is. Engineer Tukulawal said, make a big statement, firmly and politely send away regulators whenever they come for inspection without the PPE. Okay, that is the comment concerning regulators who are supposed to regulate but are not even regulating themselves. So we have Mr. Wilson said, before I left Dangote Refinery as of 2019, the fatality had gotten to 40. Wow. And Mr. Emmanuel said, Miss Angela, thanks for the presentation. So Engineer Tokro Lawal, sir, our Emir of Safety, you heard what Mr. Michael said, and the last question that was asked by Mr. Wilson. What are your comments, sir?
Thank you very much for having me again. I'm trying to look at Mr. Michael's comment to see what he was trying to say so that I can respond appropriately. But concerning Ispon, as I said, the problems are not unsurmountable. Some of us are clouded by our selfish interests at the expense of the organization, the organization interests. I remember sitting down with the Big Five. I don't want to mention their names. I know Dapo is there, Badmos is there, Ehi is there, and Otiti. I still believe that this cycle should be able to sit down and speak to each other with candor and take decisive action to resolve all the issues that are there. I believe if we do this with candor and sincerity, believe you me, we'll get into New Year without all these fractions. It's not something I can disclose here in the open, but I must tell you that everybody is concerned about what is happening. But the issue is we are all concerned, we talk about it, but we have not taken decisive actions. This is what is required. And we have to do it. Whether we like it or not, we have to do it. I'm looking at going into New Year with a brand new Ispon that unites all of us. And I believe it's doable. I don't want to give details, but I'm sure most of us have this feeling, and I believe that we can make it happen. Pertaining regulators, I want to tell you that you need to make the call. When the regulator, for instance, come in without PPE, politely and firmly tell him or them they're not ready for this. because they need to come in properly kitted, firmly and politely send them away. If they go to one factory and they're sent away, and they go to another factory and they're sent away, the silos will be broken. We will be speaking with the same voice. So it is important that we help them to understand what they also need to do. So also when they're coming and asking for envelopes, we should do more than envelope. It shouldn't be envelope. We should come up with how we can partner with them, how we can be able to also build their capacities, provide them with training opportunities, synergies, etc. is better than giving them brown envelope. If they don't get brown envelope in company A and they fail to get it in company B and C, we have broken the silo. We are speaking with one voice. So I would like to hear more of what people would like to say and rock on that in my mind, so that when the right time comes to discuss with these individuals, our leaders, we're able to put all this on the table. So what are your thoughts, my colleagues? Thank you, Carlo, for giving me this opportunity to speak.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Talking about envelope, I remember my wife works with NSITF as a safety officer in one of their branches, and I remember she told me a particular day that they went for inspection, and upon getting there, the managing director of the company got angry and was like, "What do they want? What do they want? At least we've given them envelope. What else do they want?" So later they now coming down that they've not come before, that they're just coming today. They now realize that factory inspectors have already, I think there was an injury that they got the information. So the factory inspectors have already gone earlier and they've given them envelope, and the case died there. So also when they now got there, they now thought that they came for the same envelope from the same for the same Ministry of Labor and Employment. They now have to explain that no, we are NSITF, though we are under Ministry of Labor and Employment, we are not here for envelope. We are here to get information about what happened so that we can talk about claims and every other thing that has to do with their department. So it's so obvious that this issue of envelope is just once an accident happens, they go there, they get their envelope, and they are off. They go there, they get their envelope, and they are off. And people keep dying, people keep getting injured, families keep suffering as a result of this. And if we have our regulatory, if we have our Ispon functioning, doing what they are supposed to do, well, sometimes when we try to deliberate, they will say that okay, they are not responsible, they are not responsible for this, they are not responsible for that. At the same time, then why do we have Ispon in the first place? I was thinking that okay, if Ispon is not ready to take on the responsibility, is it possible for us to work directly with the Ministry of Labor and Employment, and like Ms. Angela said, create a strong synergy with them, like sidelining them and making sure that we make people understand that these two bodies are not ready to synergize and they're not ready to make things work. And we are ready to take on the responsibility ourselves. Engineer Tukulawa talks about the big five. If this big five, or our experts, Engineer Mr. Rapomolade, Engineer Badmos, Engineer Tukulawal, Mr. Temitokwe, our professors that we know, our top professors, Mrs. Fire Williams, all our top mentors and letters, if all can come together and take a strong step, I know they have the connections to the government bodies. Yes, Lagos Safety Commission is another platform. If they can bring both of them down, the two factions, or maybe there are four, bring them down. Okay, we don't want your activities again. Let us start to undo these things ourselves. We, the young ones, we can't do this. We can't take on this responsibility. It is the top, our top professors, our guys at the top that can undo this. That is just the basic truth. You are the ones that will undo it, because if it continues, and even if there is a regulation, the law, they've gone to court, they've gone to several courts, and still everyone is still there's a particular occasion that's happening here. There's a particular occasion that nobody should go there. Nobody should go there. There's no. When will this continue? When are we going to stop this? When are we going to stop this? It is beyond just having a body and giving trainings. It is beyond just trainings. There are so many trainings that anybody can give. It's just that a particular training is being stamped as authority. Anybody can give training. There is more to be done as a body than just trainings. So please, these are our guys. We will need to come together and let us solve this thing once and for all. There is a lot of things happening. People are dying right. He spoke about the guy that his hand got amputated. Has Ispon gone to that family to know what is happening? Any of the faction, have they gone to that family? Is there a report by Ispon on what is happening? Have they taken that responsibility as their own, like it happened to them? Have they done anything like that? Is it happening? Is it happening? No, it's not happening. So we have a long way to go. People are dying. That is our major focus. People are dying. Factories, companies are losing millions, billions because of a lot of fire. And it's happening because we don't have a strong body. Mr. Ejiro spoke about in Kenya there. Kenya to Nigeria, just imagine. Just Kenya there. And what they are doing, and everybody is standing firm to safety because they have a body that is strong and firm. So please, our guys, we know that you can do this and we want you to do this for us. Mr. Samuel Bello, please kindly unmute yourself, sir.
Okay, boss, I don't know the last person who just spoke, his name. I don't know whether you are the moderator, but sincerely, the passion, hunger, and drive in which you used to speak was highly commendable. So my own contribution basically is just to put some things in perspective. First, Ispon is an establishment of the law.
Okay.
And so the possibility of sidelining Ispon is just next to zero, because all you need to do is to go to the act, the members of parliament, to either do a review or perhaps maybe look at what the law says, but to jettison them, that will not be possible. I mean, let's just speak knowledge. Okay, now when I also heard everyone speaking, and I think on various fora, we can, after this meeting, go back to what Ispon responsibility is. Their responsibility mainly is to train HSC professional, 1. 2, their responsibility also is to offer certification to this professional. 3, in some level, offer consultancy services either to government agencies. So Ispon do not regulate health and safety standard. Please, let's get that very clear. But however, if you talk about the consultancy services they have based on what the law says, and you have divided body, then I applaud the first speaker in that direction. But before also looking at adding more to what we are looking at, I think what the speaker initially tried to do was to paint a hydra-headed issue of occupational health and safety practice in Nigeria. Now, whenever anyone mentions ILO, we need to first know that ILO says when you ratify the conventions, the next step you should do is to establish an occupational health and safety policy, which recently we have. Now, it is from the occupational health and safety policy, you will now develop what we call occupational health and safety bill or law. Now, that is what is missing, because you see, once you have that bill, occupational health and safety bill, changed into law, like the members of parliament or the Senate and the House of Rep, once we pass the occupational health and safety bill, it will harmonize and bring all the various health and safety laws together. And then you will not have an enforcement agency, just one, because currently you have too many laws here and there. But when you have an occupational health and safety law, it will just be one umbrella in which every other one will be. Just example, those of us that are YOSH member, that's how they operate in the UK. There's what we call HSE. That is the one singular body managing health and safety everywhere in the UK. So it's the same approach we need in Nigeria. That's on one side. The second section that if you look at the multi-hydride related issue, she mentioned the government-related issue, which is poor legislation, poor structure, no occupational health and safety bill. That was 1. 2, another hydride-headed point she mentioned was related to association, e.g. Ispon not having one unit. Another area where she didn't mention, but I have to still say it here, is the economic issue in Nigeria. So for example, you said that aviation and oil and gas, they have good health and safety practice and standard. Yes, common knowledge on anyone who has entered into, once you are a student of health and safety, the first primary thing they will teach you is that the higher the risk, the higher the ability to put in structures to mitigate the risk. And that's just why oil and gas aviation has good health and safety practice. It's not a function of any other thing, or maybe, oh, the people who are, the actors are coming from, US. No. It's the general knowledge. Once, if you want to open, if the law permits us to open a nuclear plant in Nigeria, you will see the way the health and safety standard will be high. So what am I saying in a nutshell? Any health and safety person who brings out problem must say the solution. So what is the solution now? Since this issue is multi-headed, and she also, lastly, before I look at solution, based on what the madam said, she also said, okay, let us also ensure that those who have attained knowledge begin to mentor, begin to help one another, because that aspect is a problem. So now, if we now look at the solution, how do we solve government-related issue? It's very simple. If we are going to the next election here, the leader must be correct. And part of the questions that would be used to select the leader to lead Nigeria must be question relating to what's your plan for health and safety. So that's number one. Two, when we now look at the issue of, if we have selected the leader and we have already, sell the story that health and safety is poor, when you get there, what are you doing differently? Then we would now use ASSP, IOSH member, to do what they do in the UK, lobby. We will lobby the health and safety, we'll lobby the House of Rep, we'll lobby the Senate, so that the Occupational Health and Safety Bill will be passed. And I'm a student of history. During Jonathan's time in 2014, we nearly have it before that bill was killed. Please, or everyone who is a student of HSC should look at that. So what's my point? My point exactly is that until we have this fantastic 5 they have mentioned, lobby the House of Rep and Senate so that we can pass Occupational Health and Safety Bill, nothing will work. And in that bill, it will strengthen punitive, it will strengthen the punitive aspect. Now, the next thing I also want to say is that those of us who have read HSC to diploma level, one of the things we notice is that beside you having the HSC body, or maybe a good law, you also have what we call parties or third parties that influences health and safety. So for example, pressure groups influences health and safety. That's one. Insurance company influences health and safety. That's two. Professional bodies influences health and safety. That's three. So now, individually, we all have role to play. So if you are in your place of work and the health and safety is good, continue to do more. Now, one more part is the media. Media is also a third party. That story you are saying on amputation, if it was not echoed in the media very loudly, then this is the area where we need to check out. Radio, TV, where we begin to show our voice. And I've seen Engineer Badmus on, channels before? Good. We need more of those representation. They gave him some minutes. Until the media assist, until trade union assist, until insurance company assist, until professional bodies assist, and until we lobby to get the Occupational Health and Safety Bill, strengthen those laws that punity becomes good, we are going nowhere. And lastly, this thing is time dependent. We are not going to get it in a cakewalk. It's not going to be one day. It's not going to be 2 days. But the passion in which you have used to speak and the passion in which everyone has done, if we don't retire, but we refire, trust me, in the distant future we'll get there, because this is how long it takes for UK to also get there. It wasn't one day. This is my submission. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Sir, but before you go mute, there is this comment that I want you to help us to clarify. I've really learned from you from what you just said now. It said Ispon has a very simple and defined responsibility to regulate professionals. Okay, my question is it part of their responsibility to regulate professionals, safety professionals?
Yes, very correct. In fact, that's what they do, regulate professionals. And boss, let me tell you, okay, so to answer, that answer is yes. But what are they regulating? They are regulating, they are regulating professional to be competent. And part of the competency is that you cannot operate any health and safety capacity if you don't have Ispon certification. It is there in the law. So they are not even doing the right thing. How? They need to be visiting individual. Part of the power of Ispon is to get into the company where I serve. Unfortunately, I'm in Ghana. But you see, I was in Nigeria before. But part of the Ispon responsibility is to come to your company, you who have spoken now, and say, give me your Ispon certificate, either level 3 or whatever level. If you cannot, they have power to stop you from practicing. That is true. So if they, but you see, the issue is the dues they pay, and the way you divide this due, make multi numbers of, factions upon faction. It's all money. And that's why I said that if we get the leaders correct, and we ensure that the leaders knows that we have we get the leadership correct, and the leadership helps in the economy. Boss, I'm saying it confidently that economy, that's no money. If there's plenty money, it has a way to help health and safety. That's one. Two, if we lobby well, there will be law, which was almost passed during Jonathan time, and will be fine. But to the question you've asked me, so that I keep quiet, yes, they can regulate professional. In fact, they've not been doing that. But if they do, that will be another improvement, because you must be trained. So that's why I want to end it. Very correct, they do.
Right. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And that also goes along with what Mrs. Angela said concerning various certifications and looking at the strength of other certifications and synergizing it with what we have with Ispon. So thank you very much, sir, for that elaborate point. Mrs. Angela, do you have anything to say concerning that, ma'am?
I want to say something. He said Ispon has a very simple and defined responsibility to regulate professional. It's as simple as what current Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, NTC, are doing. But the truth again is, if you must regulate, you have to be regulated. That is the beginning. And one thing with regulation is transparency and accountability. You can't regulate when you are not ready to be regulated. So let's hope and pray that the only professional body that has an art is ready to be regulated. Then when you say the higher the risk, I hope that, because I know very well, there are some things that are omission. You can't say because construction industry doesn't have risks, that is why it was not captured in the Factory Act. There are some things that could just be oversight, because I don't really think of construction. I've come to understand that construction industry, a lot of things are happening there. Not because the risk is, you can't say the risks are high, but the truth is that even the oil and gas, like you said, the refinery, is it not oil and gas? Once you have the indigenous element, most persons don't want to do the right thing. So we still have the influence of the foreign bodies. Some of them, they are afraid that they will be sued in their various mother countries, and they will pay heavily for it. Because if they are sued here, sometimes the penalty will just be, where are you? What will be the penalty? And I really agree with the other speaker, fragmented acts, fragmented bills and all that. So let's hope that we work together. The vision is for us to have the art. The vision is for us to have the regulators. The vision is for us to have the enforcement. So if we all agree that this is the vision, I do my part, to do your part. I quite agree that yes, the big five have to sit, but there are some people that are OSA professionals here that are more connected to National Assembly than those big five. I know we have OSH professionals in House of Rep. As we speak, the former chairman of Ispon is a member of the House of Rep representing one of the constituencies in Kaduna. So we have some persons that are not even there. So let's see how we can even come together. We could have a dinner, maybe a dinner for those people that have the influence. Let's see how we can work. So if you have any idea, you can also share it with Mr. Dakpo and all those other people that are already working, the Jagabans of safety, the Emir of safety. Emir of safety has told us that a lot is happening and he wants ideas on how to go forward. So if you have an idea, please talk to Taka Lawal, our Emir of safety, or share with Dakpo. Let's see how, if you have any influence, let's just see what we can. There is no knowledge is too much. If you have any way you can help, contact the moderator, let him link you up to all these people. Let's see how we can move this profession forward.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. Before I ask my next question, let me call on, please, if you've asked your question, please kindly drop your hands, Mr. Shion Billy just finished speaking now. Mr. Ejiro has spoken. Mr. Dalita has spoken. If you still want to speak, we'll call you back later. So we have Engineer Shamsuddin. Please kindly unmute, sir. You have the floor. Please, let's make it 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, let us say what we have to say. Engineer Shamsuddin, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity. Actually, I am very happy to see that I have so many actors from the OSH profession. I have been following you guys, following your programs and a lot of activities. I am glad I have you. But the issue of this OSH profession, something is missing. Just the way my few colleagues have been saying right now, that the issue I'm seeing is just lack of regulatory body. I don't believe Ispon is regulating OSH profession. I don't believe that, because regulation is not about you go for just inspection and see what people are doing. You are supposed to serve those people with a guiding document. And what are they doing? I'm speaking from experience. I am from aviation industry. Most of our people, they don't even see this OSS profession as something, because the way they see things are happening in aviation. Why is it that aviation safety is more standard? Why is it that aviation safety is global something? They come together globally. They have a international regulatory body, which is ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organizations. In Nigeria, we have Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. There is nothing we do in aviation without a guiding document from NCA. NCA is being guided by the ICAO. They have crazy documents. Aviation documents, they are crazy. You can't read all. You can't know all. The documents are many. You understand? Everything you see in aviation, there is guiding document for that. They don't even need your thinking. They don't even need your talent. Already the work has been done. Everything there is procedure and guiding document for it. So I think if you have a regulator, that regulator is supposed to serve you with a guiding document first. This is the document you are going to work with. This is the document you are going to be using as a guidance for your practice. I don't think there is regulation. I like OSS practice. I like it. I'm just following it. I'm doing a lot of certification in OSS. But the issue is something is missing. I am seeing myself as I'm not going anywhere because of the experience I have from aviation. Because everything is in place in aviation. Everything is in place. You have a guiding document. NCA will now serve you with advisory cycle. If something happens today, believe you me, before next week or 2 weeks, NCA will provide you with the advisory circular for that particular thing that happened. This is what we call regulation. They're supposed to serve you with a procedure, with a guiding document before they even come for an inspection. Is when you have a guiding document that will now come for regulation, for inspection, they will say, okay, in the procedure or in the advisory circular, you're supposed to do this. Where is it? Show me. You're supposed to have this. Where is it? Show me. You're supposed to be using that. Where is it? Show me. But there is nothing. I don't see any guiding documents. I don't see crazy documents. I don't see procedures. I think there is no regulation in this practice. There is no regulation. There is nobody that is regulating this practice. As this is my opinion, and it is when we have the regulation, that is when the even this silo thing you are talking about. If there is regulation, there is guiding document. Believe you me, nobody will have this issue of silo mentality, something like that. It's about training. You go for your training. You have your procedure. You work with it. That's all. But there is no regulation. Actually, there is no regulation. If Ispon is been meant to regulate the profession, I don't think they are doing their job. I don't think they are doing their job. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Engineer Shamsuddin. Yeah, I always love to hear you speak. Thank you so much for your for your submissions. That reminds me when Mr. Sheung Bello spoke about the ability, part of their responsibility is to regulate professionals, that is regulating the professionals. And when she spoke about the scope of the regulation, he said regulating the competency. That is, it has to do with training. And I believe that there is more to what we have in health and safety. Yeah, training is a core part, and but there is still more that we need to do. Maybe it needs to be redefined, or we should channel our energy to the Ministry of Labor and Employment under the Department of Health and Safety. But before I go forward, someone said, let me read. Someone said, safety choice. They should develop a framework, just as our speaker said, define the qualifications. Someone does NEBOSH IGC. Does it meet up with the qualification of Ispon? If yes, why compare the individual to do a level 3? I think that is a good question. If someone has a NEBOSH, is the person required to do level 3 again? Omolola Ayodele said, thanks for tonight's presentation and deliberation. I will suggest smart analysis be done by the lead team, by the team lead here, so that this will go beyond talk, but will be well reviewed with deadlines. I wish we could start something from here. I certainly appreciate this condition. Thanks, Ms. Angela. Okay.
Can I have a few words, please?
Please, in 1 minute, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. This I don't understand. This regulation the Ispon are doing, is it to regulate the practitioners, their competencies, or to regulate the whole profession? Because if it is just to regulate the competency that people should have this certificate, people should have that certificate, I don't think that is regulation. I don't think that's regulation. Regulation is all about the body should develop the policy or the procedure. Okay, this is how you are going to work. If you go to construction site, these are the provisions. You should have this, you should have that. This is the procedure to do this. This is the procedure to do that. I think that is regulation. Guiding document, not the competency, not having certifications. You see, not having certifications, guiding document, this is the procedure, this is what you should do. Like in aviation, if you see signage in an airport, if you go to Saudi Arabia, that signage will be the same size, the same color, the same everything as the one that you are having in Saudi Arabia, as the one that you're having in London Heathrow, as the one that you're having anywhere in the world. Because there is guiding document. It says you should have that signage of this size, of this color, of this, height. Everything, if you go there, is the same all over the world.
All right, sir.
Everything is the same. I think this is regulation, not just a competency regulation that you must have so certificate before you practice. I think this is just a small portion of regulation, having competency or having certificate to practice. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir. We still have a lot to say. Please let us work with time now. So based on what you just said, I will call on Mr. Sheung Bello to actually address that. Because based on what you said now, it makes me to think of the situation we have with Ispon. Because if Ispon is actually one, maybe they will have increased their scope of operation. You get what I mean? Maybe if you have only one Ispon, maybe that would have helped because it would be one body. Maybe to have helped to expand their scope of what they can do. But I think with what I've learned so far, with what I've learned from Mr. Sheung, for example, I think their scope of operation only is within the scope of regulating competency. That is what I'm getting to know.
Yes,
from,
and that's yes, that's exactly okay. So basically, you see, how do they make laws? What happens is somebody will sponsor a bill, and in that bill there will be various areas that they are seeking for approval. the bill that established Ispon, the mandate was very clear that anybody who would manage occupational health and safety should have some level of instruction, information, knowledge, so that the person who, in fact, part of the knowledge is this standard the engineer just spoke about. It means that if I do not have the competency and information that, oh, the Factory Act, I am supposed to follow the provision, then how would I be able to make sure that I put in the necessary health and safety arrangement that would, fulfill that requirement? So now, with respect to what he's saying, Ispon is regulating a competency of professional, and that is no small feat. How do I mean? For those of us who are knowledge, we are students of safety. We know that if you want to establish health and safety culture that, the madam and everyone is all looking at, you need about 5 C. Those ones are common. One of the C is competence. Others will include control, communication, consultation, cooperation. So I don't want to go into all that because it's not a class. But what's the point? The point is, Ispon is just a creation of the law, and it's a sectional aspect they are fulfilling in health and safety. But like the man started, the engineer started from beginning, we do not have occupational health and safety law, or more, if I call it bill. That bill, when you turn into law, will say, okay, Nigeria, okay, good. A good template of what we are talking about is what is done in Lagos. Lagos is an example of how occupational health and safety ought to run. You see, they have a commission. So any health and safety related issue in the entire Lagos state is being regulated by the Lagos State, Health and Safety Commission, meaning those people can come into your place, they can, inspect, they have the power to, issue notices. They can do that. So now we need that at the national level, where their offices would be domiciled everywhere. And that, until we get that, and that national body, all the laws, whether it's mineral oil, whether it's whatever law, they would now be harmonized in such that inspectors will now, if they are coming to your place, they would have written before time that these are the 3, 4, 5 laws we want to look at. So that is a missing link, but that is not the only one. If you have an occupational health and safety bill, and then you empower inspectors, and then inside that law, you have punitive that are strong. For example, when we say punitive, let me give you an example. One example of punitive is corporate order, or maybe let's say you have adverse publicity. What does that mean? If an employer decides not to manage health and safety, and the enforcement agency takes the company to court, the court, based on the letters of the occupational health and safety bill, can say, okay, go to any NTA station and go and name and shame yourself. After you name and shame yourself, then tell us the new thing you do. That is what we call public adverse publicity. It's done in the UK. So you can imagine a Dangote refinery where there's 10 deaths going to say, I caused this death. You know how the public will react. So we will not buy Dangote related issues. And if Dangote will survive that, he will improve the health and safety. So there are multidimensional things that made health and safety strong in UK, in US. This is just example. So first we need that law. But to Ispon, I think people are over flogging Ispon. And after this training, please, let everybody just go to their search engine and write Ispon, the act that established it, and all their role. I tell you what, when we do a training like this again, nobody will mention Ispon. Nobody. I mean, this discussion I'm having with you, we've had it with engineer, the heads, those that know HSC, back in 5, 6 years ago. Nobody, these big men don't talk about Ispon. I'll be very surprised if Mr. What's his name now? The big man you mentioned I couldn't join in. If he are joining, he won't mention Ispon. It's not Mr. Omalade. He won't mention Ispon. Ispon is not the problem per se. We don't have HSC. We don't have HSC enforcement agency. health and safety enforcement, we don't have. We don't have bill. What we have is scattered laws, fragmented here and there. And in those laws too, there are no punitive issues. Like the madam said, something you can pay, you want to still continue to do. And I want to make one correction. When I did say that, you know, aviation and oil and gas industry, because of the higher the risk, the higher the health and safety arrangement. I mean, this is a general knowledge for health and safety people. The truth of the matter is,
Elosa, please let us work with time now. Let us work with time.
Okay, so just to conclude, the reality is that Ispon is overflogged. Their role is to educate, to train, and regulate only the professional. They don't regulate health and safety standard. That means access procedure and everything. That's not their role. So
Okay,
let's
sir. Please. So from what I have here, let us go to number one. I've talked about the fact that if there's a possibility for responsibilities or the scope of what a body should do, there's possibility for it to be expanded if they actually take responsibility of the primary one that was given to them initially. If they are working well and things are going on with them well, there's possibility for there to be, and they are responsible, and they take responsibility and accountability. There's possibility for there to be expansion of their responsibilities. Let us just put it that way. So from what I have there, it's a choice sent to us, code from the Nigerian ILO, country profile endorsed by the minister. It said, for section 5, subsection 7.1, said, talk about the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria, that is Ispon, and it said, and I'm quoting, the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria was inaugurated in August 1980 as Nigerian Institute of Safety Professionals, that is NISP, during the annual conference of NISCN. We all know NISCN. It later became the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria, Ispon, until it was chartered in 2014 by the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria is Nigeria's only chartered safety professional body for individuals involved in occupational health and safety practices. Ispon is involved in, please let us look at what is being said there. Ispon is involved in maintaining standards, providing impartial and authoritative guidance, and HSE trainings and consultancy. Let me come again with that. Ispon is involved in maintaining standards, providing impartial and authoritative guidance, and HSE trainings and consultancy. Objective of the Institute. The Institute objective as enshrined in the Ispon Act 2014 include the organization and provision of professional trainings in the area of safety management, in collaboration with government agencies, set standards. In collaboration with government agencies, set standards. Now, section 5, subsection 7.1.2 says, function and powers of the Institute. In order to achieve the above stated objective, the Institute is empowered to perform the following functions. A, conduct examinations and award certifications and diplomas, as well as advise employers on matters relating to qualification for the practice of safety management in Nigeria. Conduct research into all aspects of safety management. That is number 2. Organize lectures, seminars, workshops, and otherwise provide training for persons aspiring to qualify and practice as safety professionals. Establish and maintain list of persons registered as safety professionals in Nigeria and publish from time to time those so registered. Perform such other functions as may be necessary for the advancement of the Institute and the safety management professional. Have power to affiliate with any university or other tertiary institutions for the purpose of offering higher degree program. Last but not the least, in collaboration with relevant agencies of government, regulates the practice of safety management in Nigeria. Quote, end of quote. So, because of time, we won't want to dwell so much into this. We have all our assignment. Let us take our assignment home. Let us go again to review what was said here, and let us try to understand the expansion of the capabilities and responsibilities. From what I just read, if you want to put it on percentage, what percentage do you think Ispon has done so far? Let us put that aside. I also want to believe that it is possible. You know, we used to have a lot of ministries, and I've always thought of this. Last year, we used to host a podcast event. We used to host a podcast event that is on Podbean, when you talk like radio section. And I remember one of those sessions we did last year, we talk about this issue, and we are like, is it possible for us to have the Ministry of Health and Safety instead of having a Ministry of Labor and Employment and a Department of Health and Safety? Is it possible for us to have, like the Jagabans that we said, to push this kind of innovation, this kind of idea? If government can have Ministry of Enjoyment, Ministry of this, there are so much more valuable ministries like the Ministry of Health and Safety. Is it possible for us to push that? How can we go about that? How can we take that move? And how can this help us in improving on our health and safety practice instead of just having a department? Safety has expanded beyond just being under a department. I think it can stand on its own as a ministry, just like we have Lagos State Safety Commission. Is it possible to have this kind of ministry? And if yes, how can we go about it? And that is another assignment and another talk for us. Please, we all have a role to play. Mr. Lani, and that will be Engineer Shamsuddin. I might not be able to call you again because of time, because after this, I'll be calling on our speaker to give us a final note and a final words. And we will also call Mr. Dapo said where he is, he can't speak there, but let us hear from you, please, in 1 or 2 minutes. Mr. Lani Odenide, you have the floor, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm speaking from the end of Ministry of Labor, because I actually work with the Ministry of Labor, Occupational Safety and Health Department. I've heard all that has been said. Some that has been said true, but some I believe it's on. There was a suggestion of having something like road safety marshal, you know, to conduct inspections in workplaces. But I will say it's an option that was considered, but you know, considering the specificity of OSH inspection, there will always be room for abuse, because even with officers that we have, there are abuses already. So now, giving people that opportunity, you know, there's always that tendency for people to abuse such situation. But all the same, with regards to occupational safety and health legislation, you cannot have one single body housing all legislation with regards to OSH. It's like we are just looking for chaos. There's reason why everybody have their role to play. So what we always advocate is more of collaboration. Everybody do what you can do, whilst we collaborate when it comes to addressing OSH matters. For instance, people that enforce nuclear regulations, you cannot say now OSH should be the one enforcing. We have a body enforcing nuclear regulation, enforcing maritime regulation, enforcing mining regulation. So you are going to.
You have 1 minute more. Sir, you have 1 minute more. Sir.
But all the same, Ministry of Labor will continue to do its best to achieve its mandates with regards to safety and health of workers. But at the same time, we will continue to seek collaboration with our stakeholders, you know, to strengthen OSH. Thank you.
Yes, yes. I want us to understand that this our discussion and our motive is for the safety of the nation at large, and not in particular with any particular organization. Our focus is whatever it will take for us to have a nation where safety practice will be regulated, will be properly enforced, and there will be reduction in accidents that we see. So let us, like I said, on Friday evening at Friday, thank God it's Friday, we used to have a discussion like this, a lot of discussion that has to do with health and safety on podcast. On Podbean is an app, and we've sent the invitation around. In case you see it, we would love to have you so that this kind of discussion can continue. Please don't let this discussion stop here. Please, I want us, we have our Jagabans here. Please let it be an opportunity or a rekindling for us to sit together, call ourselves, and let us see how we can bring a lasting solution to what we have. We have learned so much today, especially from our speaker, especially from Engineer Tukur, Mr. Shamsuddin, Mr. Shion Bello, especially about how everything works. And I've also learned from Safety Choice, who sent the act, who sent the sections to us that talks about responsibility. And we can see that even Mr. Shion too has also learned about what the scope of their responsibility entails. And I believe that we can have this kind of a discussion again and again, so that till not only having the discussion, let us take that move. What move can we take? Like we said, everybody has a responsibility. We have to take that action and make sure that we move that urge bill that Mr. Seun talk about, lobbying, assisting, posting, making it known. Let us make this move within our capacity, within our capability. Let us do something and help the health and safety profession. And of this, I also spoke about, if it's possible, and I want Mrs. Angela to address this while he give us the final note and we close it, and I give you the final note for the day and we close it there, about having the Ministry of Health and Safety, if it is possible, and if it's possible, how can it be done? And together, she will give us his closing speech while we end the section for today. Thank you, ma. Over to you, ma.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate the speaker from the Ministry of Labor. I'm glad that you are already considering it, but considering what you said, it's subject to abuse. There are other ways people can seek to collaborate. Like I said, I remember when we go for ASSP program, OSHA is giving a particular time. We have a session for OSHA. So maybe during ASSP Nigerian chapter, it's something we can consider. I am the group advisory member of ASSP for the current year, so that we can get this Ministry of Labor people to come and talk, other organizations, other bodies too, to see how we can just collaborate more with you people, because there is much and you need the capacity building. And we all know that ministries with no funding, so you might really have that knowledge gap and the necessary funding will not be there. So organizations that offer training, it will not be bad if we offer scholarships to members of those ministries. It's a way of collaborating. We are saying that the big vision is for us to see that OSH is regulated in Nigeria. All what we are saying from the weak legislation, let's regulate OSH. If we all see that as the big picture, then we will all work together as a team, not fighting ourselves. It's not about building your group. It's not about promoting yourself. It's all about promoting OSH. Let's work together. So, and you said something about the ministry. I won't really comment on that. I would rather not comment on that, because there's a law that goes with creating ministry, and the government, it knows best. Let's strengthen what we have now. The Ministry of Labor, that division that we have now, let's strengthen it. Let's help them to give in their best. Let's work with them. At least when that one is strong, we cannot talk of spreading, you understand? So because it's not within our reach, it's not what we can just discuss here. It's not within our scope. I would rather not talk about it, but we can make what we have now so powerful that they will make impact in the country, and for the lobbying, let's not stop. Let's continue to talk to ourselves. Those of us that have the platform to promote OSH, let's promote. Those of us that have the platform to collaborate, let's collaborate. Thank you very much for the opportunity you gave to me to speak on your platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. We will not take more questions. It is 3 minutes to 7 o'clock. Yes, this is 6:57. And It's a time well spent. I've learned a lot, and I think we also learned a lot. Thank you all for joining us on this session. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate your time. We appreciate the resources you put together to be present here. And we hope to have you again next week. Next week again, we are having another Mama in Safety. Yes, I think this month is the month of our Mamas in Safety. So we are having another Safety Enlightenment section next week, Sunday. But before Sunday, on Friday, as usual, we've restarted thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday discussion talking about how did our week go? How did the safety of our workplace? How was it during the week? And how can we improve? We get advice from people. We held one 2 days ago, and we have a couple of persons who shows concern about their practice in their workplace, and we're able to come together to give advice. So this coming Sunday, this coming Friday, it's another episode. Let us join. It's a radio section, less data, and it's always very fun, like the radio section and others paparazzi, just to relieve the stress for the week and help ourselves in regard to health and safety, and also contribute to how we can help out. It's just like he said, a collaborative effort coming together to help ourselves. This one that is on Fridays is specifically for us to hear your views about how safety was in your workplace during the week, and what advice you need so that others that are professionals Podbean, P-O-D-E, Podbean, it will show you the app, and download the app. If you are using iPhone too, and I'm not an iPhone user, I'm anti-iPhone, so also go there and look out for the app. €8 and every other person, they can give you feedback on the training. Our next 3-day technical safety session will be coming up on October, first week of October. If you are interested in this training, please kindly chat me up as usual. Kindly start me up as usual for details on how to register for this training. The 3-day technical safety training section is going to blow your mind. Our feedback has been massive, and we hope to have you on the next training. For all your safety videos, safety enlightenment sections, you can go to our YouTube channel. You can go to our YouTube channel and watch various safety videos on various topics. And this is brought to you by Cordal Safety Consult. For your safety need, for your safety manpower supply, for your safety consultancy, we are always here to assist and support the organization. Safety trainings as you want it, in company best book trainings, we can give it to you the way you want it. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate your presence. See you all again on Friday, and see you all again next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is 7 o'clock. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye-bye. Maoga, engineer Mr. Dakomolade, I know there you have network issues there. Thank you for staying to the end, Mr. Nnamdi Elvis. Thank you. Mr. Sheo, Mr. Namdi, Shia Dikobi, thank you. Engineer Shamsuddin, Mr. Bright, Safety Choice, Mr. Lani, your daring day. Mr. Faithful Elijah, thank you for coming. Mr. Fortune, Mr. Emmanuel, Otto Arian, thank you all. Mr. Mohammed, Jerry Amora, Ade Donyi, thank you all. Mr. Biodun, Mr. Olufemi Ajayi, Mr. Akintude, Mr. Jasper, Mr. Donald, Mr. Innocent, Mr. Goodluck, everyone.